man, in this video, we're going to talk about Mantra, the real world asset cryptocurrency. Is this a crypto which can make you the next crypto millionaire? I'm going to break down this project and whether the certain price targets which people are banding out are realistic. We're going to do a deep dive, so smash the likes. Do not forget to subscribe. This is a token, guys, which has gone from just being cents, 1 cent, 2 cent, back at the start of 2023, now sitting at $1.50. We're sitting at market cap of 1.27 billion. Is this a project that can 10x? Can it 100x? Can it 50x? I'm going to break down the exact numbers and my model as well. But before we do so, we need to understand, what is this project? What is this project Mantra, which is starting to pick up interest amongst cryptos? In fact, if you go on to CoinGecko and go into the real world assets category, you can see it is the biggest real world asset play right now, sitting at 1.27 billion in market cap. Other notable players, projects like Ondo at 1.17. You've got Pendle at 760. You've got others as well. But this one we're going to focus on Mantra. Is it too big already? Is it going to fall? Can we expect a big return? I'm going to break that down. If you appreciate this type of content, smash up the likes. Do not forget to subscribe. Now, first and foremost, what is this real world asset, right? If you're investing in a real world assets, RWA, everybody's talking about it, a lot of big hype. What does it actually mean? I'm seeing a lot of people throw around jargon, but what does it actually mean? It means to bridge traditional finance, which I know very well. I used to work in traditional finance, right? All the finance products. Remember, what do all these investment banks where I used to work, what do they sell? They sell financial products, right? Whether it's currencies, whether it's CDSs, whether it's derivatives, all of these financial products are what they are selling to clients for a fee. Now, what is the decentralized equivalent of this? That is where real world assets come into it. In other words, you've probably heard of the word tokenization. How do we take something that exists in the traditional markets that everybody knows about, like foreign exchange, like bonds, like stocks, like real estate, and how do we tokenize them so that you can have a crypto which represents a stake or an interest? In short terms, without me trying to sound smart and try to use fancy words, that is what RWA is. That is what real world assets is. And this shift from moving financial products into the crypto world does pose a very big opportunity for crypto. And that's not just me saying this. Take a look at this. This is McKinsey, one of the biggest consulting companies in the world. They see just $2 trillion, hear the word just, $2 trillion of tokenized real WAs by 2030 in just their base case. Now, I went and digged up the supporting data. Take a look at this. They project this. If there's a slow adoption by 2030, which is just, guys, call it 5 years. This 2024 is done. 5 quick years. You're looking at 800 billion in the market, right? 800 billion in the market, which is like 2 Ethereums. The base case is 1.9 trillion. That's now bigger than Bitcoin. And the accelerated option, $3.8 to $4 trillion coming into crypto through the tokenization of existing stuff. And this is very, very interesting because all of this now becomes up for grabs. And this is one of the things that Mantra is tackling. They're saying we're going to be the platform that does that. Now, the future's long. Who knows? Who knows who's going to succeed in this place? But our jobs as investors is to start placing our bets. If we believe in RWA, if we believe in this premise that I just explained of tokenization, if we think it's an obvious route, that of course all these, traditional things like bonds and stocks and all these things should be tokenized. Now remember, why do you want them tokenized? It's not easy for everybody around the world to get access to these products. It's not easy for everybody to get a share of a US government bond. It's not easy for everybody globally to get a share of Tesla or to get some real estate in the middle of Dubai where I am right now, which is exactly why projects like Mantra are doing the following. They've planned to work with Maghrib, which is one of the big developers here in Dubai, to tokenize $500 million of real estate assets. Now, this might not be the biggest piece of news you've ever heard, but it's a fact that they're starting to take real existing stuff and they're trying to tokenize it to make it available for you to now get exposure to. So technically, you could be someone sat in the middle of Ethiopia or Pakistan or Indonesia getting exposure to Dubai real estate through a decentralized mechanism. Isn't that mind-blowing? So this is what's really interesting about the real WA asset class. Now, a few other things to worthy of mention is they did raise 11 million for RWA earlier this year. They have seen good growth, and that's really, really good. We've also seen the likes of BlackRock say that, you know, $10 trillion tokenization vision, right? $10 trillion vision. So, you know, nobody's arguing this kind of higher level thesis around RWA, but is Mantra positioned to go achieve that? Well, first and foremost, let's take a look at their website, right? You can head over to their website, get a quick first glance, and you can see it's nice laid out website. They've got staking, they've got vaults. They say that their mainnet is due anytime in October. We need to see that happen, right? Partner with Chainlink, Hex Fund, Kepler, Leap, LimeChain, Mag, which we just went through, Ondo, which is another big RWA player, which is good. And you can become a partner as well. Okay, fine. So now we need to understand, is this a project which can actually, because people remember, whenever you're in crypto, people are like, oh, come on, get yourself some of this. Can it actually 10x, right? Can it actually do that? Well, currently we're sitting at $1.50, roughly speaking, at the time of recording this video, and you're sitting at a market cap of about 1.27 billion. Right? Not the biggest project in the world, but not the smallest either, right? You're not catching a project at 100 million. That race has been ran from the start of this year for those people who got in super early. Now, this is about, is it going to go from becoming this, you know, toddler to becoming a more mature adolescent? Can it get to that 10 billion market cap? Can it get to 15 billion? Can it get to 20 billion market cap? If you're investing now, that is the bit you're looking for, right? Because I'm assuming you're not going to want to invest in this if you're not at least going to get about a 10x. So let's go ahead and start off with my base case. I'll then work you through my target case, achievable case, stretch case, etc. Okay, so let's get straight into this. So we're sitting at $1.5 here on ARM. If you think you can do a 13x, right? If you want to do a 13x, that means the price of ARM will reach $20. That would then give it a market cap of $17 billion. On the right hand side, what I've done for you guys here for some perspective is I've shared some of the other market caps of projects currently. So you can see that Bitcoin sitting at about 1.3 trillion. You've got Ethereum sitting there in the 300 billion level. BNB currently sitting at 87. Cardano 12.6. Solana 75. 11.5 for Avalanche. So you've got some perspective here. So you're saying almost that in this next cycle up, and it's important to remember that in this next cycle up, you expect projects to go, right? Everybody's saying that Bitcoin should be hitting 100, 150, if not $200,000. So this 1.3 trillion on Bitcoin could be an all-time high of hitting 2 trillion, 2.5 trillion, in which case 16 billion here for an world, you know, a real world asset play. The biggest one, currently it's the biggest one. Can it continue to be in the first spot? It's an argument you can make. I think this would be a base case if you're investing in this project and it couldn't return back a 13x. That would be a very disappointing outcome, not just for us as investors, but for the OM team. I think the OM team, including the chap here, that is John Patrick Mullin, the CEO, he would be very, very disappointed if he could not return 13x on an investment, which is so perfectly primed, right? You're riding a wave of RWA, of tokenization, heading into a crypto bull market. You've got your partners in place. You've got your deals lined up. People are exciting and talking about your project. You've done the hard work of getting to $1 billion in market cap. What about that next move? Now, I'm going to take a little bit of a pause here just to also talk about a very important piece of data, which is your flow, your circulating supply, right? Loads of people invest in a token. They say, oh, look, it's sitting at 1.27 billion, but they never look at the fully diluted value. They never look at the fully diluted value, which takes into account all the coins which aren't in circulation. So for example, you could have a coin which only has 25% of coins in circulation. So 75% more needs to be put in the market. This is not the case, fortunately, for Mantra. They have very good early stage tokenomics here in that the total supply is very close to what's circulating. Most of the tokens are in circulation. Now, of course, we'd need to do a deeper dive into the tokenomics. If you want me to do that, comment below tokenomics in capitals, and I'll do a deep dive into just the tokenomics. Who are the biggest whales? Who's holding this token? Is there a centralization risk? We can make that video as well. Let me know in the comments if you are interested in that. So this is definitely a coin to watch out for. Of course, there isn't a max supply of these tokens as well, so naturally that could have an effect over the longer term. So let's now jump back into our model. So that's the easy case, right? So if you want to become a millionaire on a 13x, you got to buy 50,000 coins right now today, which at the current price is going to cost you $75,000. Not too shabby, right? $75,000 to earn $1 million of over the next period if you believe it can get to $20. Of course, this is not financial advice. Please do your own research. I'm just sharing a model that I've come up with. Next, we move on to a bit more of a target case. So base case is like, oh, they messed up, but fine, we hit our base case. Target is like what you think they'll go and do, right? When you have a target case in investment, this is what, if you say yes to buying it, you believe they'll do. And a $75 token means $63 billion in market cap. Again, let's use some context. Solana sitting there at 75 billion. You've got BNB sitting at around 87. We're still, again, Bitcoin looking to push on to new all-time highs. You know, look, the fact of the matter is, for to deliver this, they'd have to do things right? They would have to become a big player. They'd be a top 10 crypto. They would have to be the leading real-world asset player. They'd have to dominate, right? And it's not an easy bit. This is the maturity bit of an investment. And either things will go right and they will plug away onto this level through the ups and downs, and the team will continue to plug away because, remember, they need more deals like this, right? The crux of this matter is you can talk about being an RWA play, a real world asset play, but you need stuff to tokenize. You need to quickly tokenize so people, when they come onto your platform, aren't just sitting there and staking, right? Not just staking for some tokens, but they can get access to real estate. They can get access to stocks and bonds and all the other physical assets which people want tokenized for you to actually be an RWA player. They're gonna have to deliver on that. If they can, why can they not get to 63? Of course they can. We've seen projects like Cardano in a previous cycle, going back to 2019, getting to $80 billion plus in valuation with no smart contract platform. So it's possible. They've got to deliver, they've got to work through, and then you would need 13,000 tokens, which would set you back $20,000 today. So $20,000 today, if it does a 50x, will get you to that cryptocurrency millionaire status on just your tokens. Huge potential, right? If you're looking at $63 billion, if you're betting on it to be the best play in the RWA space, not too shabby. Let's now move on to our achievable target. Now, this is one which, look, things have to go right for them to get this, right? But it's doable. If you're the team of sitting in the office, turning up to work every day to say, look, we're going to tackle this issue that is RWA. We want to be the leading crypto RWA player. This is the target you're setting for yourself, at least. If you're not, why do you go to work in the morning? You're the CEO or the team. Why would you want to aim for any less than this? And this is saying to get to Ethereum's current market cap of $324 billion, that would get you to a $200 token, which would be 133x. Where else would you see such returns apart from in startup private equity, and here, of course, in crypto as well? It's doable. Not easy. No project outside of Ethereum and Bitcoin has ever gotten to that level, but that is exactly why you put this as their target, right? This is what, if they wanted to dominate the game. And it's important to remember that we can't judge tomorrow or next year or 3 years down the line the market to today's market. This would, not in today's world, like right now, can't be $324 because Ethereum's there, right? Something would have to go ludicrously wrong. But what I'm explaining is a scenario where Bitcoin's maybe sat at 3-4 trillion, right? Ethereum's probably sat itself at 1.5 trillion, 1.6, 1.7 trillion. In which case, why couldn't Mantra, if it's the leading tokenization play, not be a quarter of the size of Ethereum at that point in 2, 3 years, 4 years? That would be your investment case here if you were going for this target case. Again, you would need 5,000 tokens if you wanted to become a millionaire, and that would set you back today to buy those tokens $7,500. So it shows you how, a relatively low, depending on your income, obviously I say that with a pinch of salt, $7,500 to become a millionaire. It can happen in crypto. Doesn't mean it's going to happen with every single one of your investments, but this is how crypto investors make money. They take strategic bets with careful models. Some of them will win and hit, their base and target case. Some will flop and lose the money, but ultimately some will hit stretch, some will hit their moon target, and they'll do well. You don't need every single one of your portfolio to do well. You just need a handful of them to do really, really good, some to hit your target, some to return your funds, and that's how you become a profitable investor, right? Talk to any real estate investor, talk to any startup, VC fund, private equity. That's the model they use. They're not going to catch them all. Whoever invested in Uber or Amazon or Facebook had a lot of losses as well, but they caught a unicorn which made them very, very wealthy. Okay? And that's exactly what we want to do as crypto investors as well. Let's move on to the stretch target. This is where it starts to get a little bit silly, right? And if anybody of you have watched my videos before in the past, you will know I never plan for a stretch or moon target. I put it in my model, but I don't plan for it. This is like gravy on gravy. This is the cream on top of the cake. This is the bonus. And some projects in your portfolio will hit the stretch target. They will hit the moon target. They will exceed your expectations, but you can't plan for it. For the target and achievable case here, I would plan for these, but I wouldn't plan for the next ones. So can it get to $550? That would be a 367 times your money ROI here on Mantra. You would need 1,800 tokens, which would just cost you $2,700 to become a crypto millionaire. But again, 600 billion. What does that mean in terms of market caps? Twice the size of Ethereum currently. But again, this relies on the whole market just growing. Remember this report I'm sharing here with you? This relies on this, right? Accelerated adoption of real world assets sitting at close to 3-4 trillion. And then you say, okay, if the whole space is worth 3-4 trillion, but Mantra is one of the biggest players in the crypto space for RWA, why can't it command a quarter of that market space? Why can't it command even less, right? Why can't it command 12, 13, 14% of that market? That is the argument you're making here. So again, it sounds a little ludicrous. Everything would have to go right for it. The whole tokenization space would not have to grow really rapidly between now and 2030, but also would need to be the leading player. Not Ondo, not a competitor, not somebody else. They would have to be the winner. And they've got early mover advantage, right? People are talking about it. They're the biggest market cap project, tagged as RWA assets. So they're in a good position to have a go at this race, but it's not easy. Everything would have to go right. And speaking of that, the moon target, right? Can they get to that 1.3 trillion market cap, 1.5 trillion, roughly the size of Bitcoin currently? Again, that would be a $1,500. That would be a 1,000x on your money. You would just have to put $1,000 in today, and your investment would turn into $1 million worth of 1.5 trillion, guys. I put it to you again. It's possible. BlackRock says it's going to be a $10 trillion space. McKinsey say we can be at 4 trillion. We call it 2 trillion to 4 trillion by 2030. Can they command the lion's share of it? That's what it's going to come down to for They need to be the leading player. They need to tokenize as many assets as possible. If they do that, if they deliver over the next few years, if they don't rug pull the project, if they don't play any manipulation games, if they actually promise and continue to do business development and do deals like this and tokenize things, they could do right? They can deliver that target. But again, I just want to caveat, I would never plan for any of these cases. These are stretch and moon cases. If I was going to invest, I'd be investing at these levels, hoping that it can get between $63, $300 market cap, aiming for that kind of 50 to 100x if I wanted to get into this project. Let me know below, guys, what do you think about this project? Is this a project that can hit some of those heights? Can it get to $20? Can it get to $100? Let me know in the comments below again if you want me to do that tokenomics breakdown, where I just go into the tokenomics, the wallet holders, if there's going to be a rug pull, who holds the majority of the tokens. Let me know in the comments with the word tokenomics, and I'll get that video spun up for you. If you like this type of video, guys, and you want me to do this for different altcoins, comment the altcoin below as well. Let's interact. You guys tell me which altcoin you want me to do a deep dive on like this, and I'll get that done for you guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.